Hello, welcome to Gus McDoll Strategy and Tactics, and thank you to our subscribers. In this series, we play through the 16 operations of the German Grand Campaign in Close Combat 3, the Russian Front. Please remember to subscribe, comment, share, and like the video. And if you want to show your support with a donation, the links are in the description. It is day 2 of 5 on Operation 11 of 16. Battle Briefing. Counterblow at Prokhorovka, the beginning of the end. The Bolshevists have stopped our offensive. It's up to you to regain the momentum. Your objective is to stop the enemy counterattack and go over to the offensive. Your command is attached to Das Reich Panzer Division. Consider building your force around armour, including command tanks or half-tracks to improve your battlefield control. You don't need infantry. The only support teams you should consider are heavy anti-tank guns or mortars to provide smoke screens. Observers have sighted Russian armour massing across the valley. You can expect heavy assault guns to support the ever-present T-34s. From the ridge you hold, you can cover most of the battlefield. The enemy can do the same from the hills to the east, so deploy with care. Either hit the enemy's flank simultaneously to try and catch his armour in a pincer, or stay below the ridgeline and let him close to point-blank range. Don't let the enemy's superior numbers worry you. Your command skills are more than a match. We start the operation with the same forces from the last battle. Von McDoll, Command Panzer 5G. Group Leader, Commando Behorden 1942. Heavy Infantry, Fallschirmjäger, Sturmgrenadier 1942. Heavy Infantry, Sturmgrenadier 1942. Heavy Infantry, Sturmgrenadier 1942. Machine Gun Infantry, Maschinengewehr 42. Machine Gun Infantry, Maschinengewehr 42. Heavy Tank Destroyer, Ferdinand, Sonderkraftfahrzeug 184-1. Medium Tank, Panzer V, Panther D. Heavy Tank, Panzer 6E, Tiger 1. Armoured Car, Puma Sonderkraftfahrzeug 234-2. Heavy Anti-Tank Gun, 8.8cm Flak 36. Heavy Anti-Tank Gun, 8.8cm Flak 36. Anti-Tank Carrier, Sonderkraftfahrzeug 251-10. And a medium mortar 8cm Granatwerfer. Let's check if we can upgrade units. I want to keep Schadel on foot with the infantry, so no to the command vehicle. Still no upgrade for the Sonderkraftfahrzeug 251-10. And that is Kampfgruppe McDoll. At this point, I usually examine the terrain and develop a plan. But, once again, we were just on this map 2 episodes ago. The terrain has not changed since, and we are in essentially the same tactical position. So, I will not repeat the full terrain analysis, but if you are interested, it is available in episode 29. In summary though, I have marked 5 areas. Number 1, Strongpoint Goethe. Number 2, Strongpoint Elsa. Number 3, the open ground in front of Prokhorovka Ridge. Number 4, Hill 219. And number 5, Prokhorovka Ridge. Key terrain includes the German hilltop strongpoints to the west and the Soviet-held ridgelines to the east. Decisive terrain is Prokhorovka Ridge. The bunker here covers the open ground and minefields and prevents onward movement to Kursk. Reconnaissance by the Germans has determined gaps in the minefields that can be used as avenues of approach. Gaps between the belts of minefields can also be used for lateral movement. The briefing warns us of Russian tanks massing in the area. As with the last battle, the minefields are key to the Russian defences. Their purpose is to slow down any attack and to channel the attacking forces into predetermined killing zones. The open ground and minefields could be covered by an anti-tank gun in the wooden bunker on Prokhorovka Ridge and a machine gun in the fighting pits on Hill 219. Infantry and trenches could cover the gaps in the minefields. The gaps would also be registered targets for artillery. Tanks and an infantry reserve would remain on the reverse slope to counterattack once any attack hit the minefield and lost mobility and forward momentum. This defensive layout is very strong and could cause the Germans considerable delay, slowing down the offensive, until the minefields are breached. The briefing suggests two courses of action: either hit the enemy's flanks simultaneously to try and catch his armour in a pincer, or stay below the ridgeline and let him close to point-blank range. Good suggestions, but I am here to retake the ridge in accordance with German offensive doctrine. The Germans do not have sappers or engineers, but thanks to the existing gaps and lanes in the minefield belts, they do not need them. Artillery, individual tanks and heavy weapons will destroy enemy targets, and possibly obscure the enemy through employment of smoke. Under cover of the 8.8cm guns and Ferdinand, the tanks will drive in column through the lanes and advance to the next high ground on Hill 236 while providing the infantry with covering fire. Then the infantry will cross the valley, breach the minefield, and build a small bridgehead on the far side of the obstacle on Hill 219. This will set the conditions for the main body of the battalion to pass through the minefields, cross Prokhorovka Ridge, and continue the attack. Breaching a minefield. Top. Reconnaissance elements encounter mines. Report submitted over the radio. Vehicles move back following their tracks. Engagements against anti-tank weapons. Possible use of smoke. Covering fire provided by overwatching elements. Withdrawal to covered positions. Terrain reconnaissance follows with the engineer and infantry leaders. Middle. Dismounted sappers create a small lane for the grenadiers under protective fires. Grenadier Company builds a small bridgehead on the far side of the obstacle. Artillery, individual tanks, and heavy weapons destroy enemy targets. Possibly obscure the enemy through employment of smoke. Sappers widen the lanes for tanks. Bottom. Tanks drive in column through the lanes and advance to the next high ground while providing the grenadiers with covering fire. This prevents the enemy from observing the breach. The main body of the battalion, mounted grenadiers and sappers, continue the attack. And back again at Prokhorovka Ridge. Elsewhere, von McDowell has heard that Russian tanks and infantry have put enormous pressure on the German armoured formations around Kursk. And, in the west, the Allies have landed on Sicily. Surely they will be defeated and thrown back in the sea. Intelligence reports the Russians are massing tanks on the other side of the ridge. They are not the same Russians the Kampfgruppe defeated here last time, but they will get the same lesson. I have now moved my troops into position and will execute the plan in real time. Let me know in the comments below what you think of the various courses of action and if you have identified a viable alternative. And don't forget to like the video and subscribe for more great strategy and tactics content. And so we begin. The German panzers dominate the ridge at strongpoint Elsa, with artillery on three sides. The infantry Zug is in position behind strongpoint Gerda, with the MG42 crawling into position. No sign of Russians at Hill 219. And 4 tank hulls on Prokhorovka Ridge should tell the Russians what I have in store for them. The Tiger has a bad angle and moves back up the hill. Achtung, Panzer! Hit and destroyed. A T-34-43 medium tank destroyed. The German mortar targets the crew. The mortar checks fire.
Gebiet gesichert. Противник предложил прекращение огня.
The MG42 crews are almost in position. Achtung, Panzer! Hit and destroyed.
Stellung eingenommen.
Multiple hits knock out the T-34-43. The crew bail out. The German mortar opens up. Russian artillery opens up on Ohlmeier's 8.8cm anti-tank gun. The guns go to ground.
Truppe umgruppiert.
An artillery round hits Ohlmeier's gun. Cannoneer Furstenberg and Kluger are incapacitated. Time to launch the assault. The Panzers move forward. The 8.8cm guns cover the advance.
Противник предложил прекращение огня.
Zeltmann's Panther spears off to the left flank to breach the minefield covering Hill 219. Schädel's infantry Zug moves into position. Achtung, Panzer! KV-1A.
Wir haben zu tun.
Multiple hits and the KV-1A burns. The German mortar opens on the crew. the panzer assault resumes. The mortar checks fire.
Противник предложил прекращение огня. Минное поле!
A fleeing Russian wanders into the minefield and becomes a casualty. Once again, von McDowell leads the assault on the minefields. He takes the left flank. Gemma in the Tiger takes the right flank. Zeltmann plots a course onto Hill 219. The Panzers breach the first belt.
Truppe umgruppiert. Stellung eingenommen.
Infantry Zug in position. The Puma and Schützenpanzer move up.
Предложил прекращение огня. Truppe umgruppiert.
The Ferdinand covers from the centre. Achtung Panzer! On the ridge. HE-34 Flame. The Panzers do not have the shot. The 8.8cm guns do. Hit and destroyed. The 4th Russian tank knocked out. The advance resumes.
Wechsel ausgeführt. Truppe umgruppiert. Stellung eingenommen.
Fleeing tank crew.
Сержант! Противник предложил прекращение огня. Gebiet gesichert. Voll ausgeschaltet.
Zeltmann takes Hill 219. The 120mm mortar is hidden behind the wooden bunker. More Russian infantry on the reverse slope. The German mortar opens counter-battery fire. No one else has the shot. Russians at Hill 219.
Ziel ausgeschaltet.
На, засекли! Петя! Кром!
Ziel neutralisiert.
Zeltmann's crew eliminate a heavy machine gun at Hill 219 and anti-tank infantry.
Находимся под обстрелом. Truppe umgruppiert. Мы сдаемся!
The remnants of the Russian light machine gun infantry squad surrenders. McDowell continues the advance.
Stellung
Спасите
eingenommen.
меня! Не высовываться!
Противник предложил прекращение огня.
The 120mm mortar is destroyed. Major victory. The battle ended because the Russians fled the battlefield. The Germans gained control of the area and the operation is over. The operation ended because the Russians routed. You, Herr von McDowell, gained 2 campaign points. Your group commander urges you on to more and greater victories. German losses were 2 wounded, both on Ohlmeier's gun. Russian losses were 12 killed, 17 wounded, 9 prisoners, 4 tanks destroyed, and the 120mm mortar destroyed. Let's examine the Kampfgruppe. Major von McDowell is awarded a 3rd Knight's Cross. This is his 2nd Knight's Cross just for taking Prokhorovka Ridge. Unterfeldwebel Feutinger and Gefreiter von Wittker are also awarded the Iron Cross 2nd Class. Feuchtinger's 3rd. Oberpanzerschütze Brinn in Zeltmann's Panther D is awarded the Iron Cross 1st Class. About time Zeltmann's crew is recognised. Unterfeldwebel Feutinger is credited with a tank kill, and Gefreiter von Wittker accounts for a number of soldiers. The Ferdinand again proves its worth. Oberpanzerschützen Knopf and Klamper share credit for a tank kill. Oberpanzerschütze Brinn in Zeltmann's Panther D is credited with his 2nd tank kill, and the entire crew demonstrated bravery in breaching the northern gap in the minefield and taking Hill 219. And the tank kill tally competition between the 8.8cm anti-tank guns draws even, as Unterfeldwebel Ohlmeier and Oberkanonier Ohlberg share credit for a tank kill. Both teams are at 16 tank kills. And newly promoted Oberleutnant Baumann is credited with the 120mm mortar kill. Once again, improvements in morale, leadership and experience across the Kampfgruppe. But sadly, Kanonier Fürstenberg and Kluge are seriously wounded by Russian artillery and evacuated back to the home front. While not originals, they have been with the Kampfgruppe through many campaigns and will be missed. The counterblow at Prokhorovka operation was a major victory. German losses were 2 wounded. Russian losses were 18 killed, 23 wounded, 9 prisoners, 7 tanks destroyed, and 1 gun destroyed, the heavy mortar. The campaign remains a total victory. German losses were 20 killed, 30 wounded, 1 prisoner, 3 tanks destroyed, and 5 tanks damaged. Russian losses were 216 killed, 180 wounded, 79 prisoners, 59 tanks destroyed, 9 tanks captured, 6 guns destroyed, and 1 gun captured. If only battles could win wars. So, what did we learn? Again, that was a reasonably textbook panzer assault on a location defended by minefields. On this occasion, the battle was over before I could commit infantry to the breach. One lesson I learned and applied from the previous battle here was to put at least 1 tank on either breach. As a result, Zeltmann's Panther destroyed a Russian medium machine gun and anti-tank team. These teams otherwise would have caused casualties to attacking infantry. But, once again, the doctrine works. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe and donate, and stay tuned for the next episode.